Hey, it's Danny with Arrow Digital, and if you're wondering why potentially your marketing isn't working as well, and what I mean by that is if you've got an in-house person that's been running some social media marketing, Facebook with demographic targeting or pay-per-click, maybe you've even hired an agency to handle things like any sort of display or PPC campaigns or any just other types of lead generations, and if you've seen a decline in how that's working. And maybe even in some cases an increase in cost. So you're paying more for getting less for it. If that's something that you've been experiencing and you're kind of wondering what's going on and scratching your head a little bit, this is the reason why. So when you have a service, Facebook, Google, Twitter, any of those things that is free, the reason that they are free is because you're actually the commodity, right? So Facebook is selling your data. Google is selling your data to marketers. And that's how they can provide the service for free. So what's happened is there's been a lot of regulatory and otherwise public pressure on these companies, these providers, Facebook, Google, Twitter, and the like, to pull back the reins a little bit on how much of that data they're giving out and really allow the consumers to drive what type of data they're willing to share. You've probably seen, if you have an iPhone, with all of the apps now asking if you want to allow them to track your activity for advertising purposes. And most people, of course, are going to say no. And so what that means is there's less data out there, and the data that is out there is pretty old now because they've been doing it for over 6 months. And so what we're seeing is a decline in a lot of those marketing tactics that were so cool and techy and working really, really well for so long. And so what that means for you is, if that's the position that you've been in, there is an answer. There is a way to take back control of your marketing and actually improve upon what has been going on. But the window for this opportunity is pretty short and it's pretty small. And the reason why I say that is once companies hop on board with it, it's going to make it really, really difficult in your market for you to compete. So the tried and true method of just making sure that your business is ranked on Google, both in the map, but also on overall organic for your market. That's going to be just the best, most efficient way for you to make sure that your business is generating leads for itself automatically. You're not having to worry about pay-per-lead or anything like that. And it's just a really, really great way to make sure that your business is not only stable, but ready to grow. And so the reason why I said the window is pretty short on that, or small, is because once businesses catch on that, hey, these old ways of doing it that were maybe cheaper, the Facebook, any sort of behavioral targeting, anything like that, these aren't working as well. I'm going to go back to making sure that I'm ranking. There's a finite amount of places on Google, right? So if you want to be in the top 3, which is where you should be, there's only 3 businesses that can be there in those keywords. And so once businesses really start to catch on, once your competition starts to catch on, it's going to be that much harder for you to compete and get there because you got to push somebody out. And so building a strong foundation now before everybody's really caught on to that is going to be imperative. And that's what we do with our Rank King service. So if you're interested, there's actually a link right below this video. You can click on it, schedule an appointment with me personally, and I'll talk to you about exactly what we do, how we help roofers just like your company really excel and experience the growth they want to see, and take control of that lead generation so that you're not having to chase down different lead generation types of marketing all the time because you got to try the newfangled thing. Being visible on Google in your market is incredibly impactful, and we see a lot of growth for our roofing companies by just focusing on that. So if you're just interested, again, there is a link right down below here. Just click it, and I look forward to talking to you.